Good morning, mi gente. It's 9 a.m. I know. Gay people and an LGBTQ plus Kiki at 9 in the morning. Whose idea was this? That's why I'm still in bed. Me? I'm FayWhat? And I'm going to help you get your week started off right. We have lots of fun things to talk about. It's going to be a great week.
Gay boys, hashtag that girl, sunbeams, drag queens, L-word, is that girl, the girl of all agree. She's everything that every girl should be. Aqua, South Beach, hashtag that girl, pride-filled, tea-dance, Wilton. Is that girl Latina, but she's universal too. If you find a girl to love, only one girl to love, then she'll be that girl too. That girl.
The FayWhat Show is America's first LGBTQ plus morning show, and we are live right now on Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, Amazon Fire Television, YouTube, and Facebook, and I'm always available on demand. It's Monday, November 21st. It is Thanksgiving week. I hope you're grateful. I'm grateful to be with you. So let's kiki about what's going on in the LGBTQ plus community. I have a sidekick joining me in bed for some conversation. I know he looks familiar. He's been in bed before. You're in bed once with FayWhat. You'll come back for more. Yeah, well, sometimes. All right, our first segment is called Gay Boys Sleep Late, and this morning I'm joined by my gay guy pal, model, event planner, community activist, and so much more, Jameer Baptiste. Good morning, Jameer. Welcome to FayWhat Show.
Good morning.
Here's some coffee.
Good morning, Joe.
Yes, black and sweet, like you like your everything.
You got that right.
How are you, Papi? It's been a while since you've been in bed with me.
No, it's been good. Busy, but good.
Dude, but nobody does more than you. Like, you are constantly out there doing stuff. Like, I mean, Hotspots has you busy all the time.
Yes.
I saw you at Taste of the Island. You were doing the health men's conference.
Yeah,
Men's wellness conference. We spoke about it here on the FayWhat Show, that I was telling you men that, like, it's all about being healthy, getting healthy, staying healthy, and finding out how to keep that going. How was that?
Interesting. We did 3 different locations all at the same time. So we were juggling all that plus a virtual component as well. Wow. But it all worked out. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. But I remember when you first started the men's wellness, it was all online, right?
Yeah.
It was all virtual because it was during COVID.
During COVID, it was all virtual, and that went well because people from all over the globe could actually join in and listen and see the conference. But we wanted to have that in-person feel as well, something that we were missing from the last one. And we brought that back this year, to jumpstart that and give that energy back to the community that we desired so much.
And that you need and that you deserve. I mean, I can go on and on. You're always doing fantastic stuff for the community.
Thank you.
No, you are. I always love to see you out doing your thing. The holidays are coming. Are you ready?
Yep. Got my 1,000 crunches in and, and sit-ups and all that. As gays, we have to that's how we prepare for the holiday.
That's how we prepare. We gotta look good for all those Christmas parties, Like, we just did an event last week. It was called Taste of the Island, and it's fantastic. If you're ever in South Florida during this time, make sure you go check it out. And it's like we didn't see a lot of the people that we know, and I was thinking to myself, man, gays don't eat. That's why they're not here.
Exactly.
You and me were there because we had to run the thing. But
it's basically a food and wine festival, And anytime you mention food, you don't get too many gays. Wine may be a different story.
We're all about the wine, of course. So, JB, there's a bunch of interesting things going on in the LGBTQ plus community. There's always stuff going on, especially down here in South Florida. You ready to kiki on some of them?
Yes, of course.
Let's do it. So first, Savannah is known for its diverse and unique residents. Many were first introduced to town in the book and film Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. You guys have seen that, which was based on a true story, by the way. So the town features unique art, architecture, and food that brings visitors from around the world. Even in this weird and fun town, there's a new place that's creating a buzz now. It's the Riverside Tattoo Parlor, the brand new store that's a far cry from traditional tattoo parlors. Instead of stark walls and rock music, it features art, plants, and soothing music. It's also entirely owned and run by queer women. What are we all talking about? I love this idea.
It's so cool, you know, the fact that it's queer women, number one, hands
Yeah.
down, because normally you see tattoo parlors owned by men.
Yes.
And you know, with the Zen feel, it kind of gives that like why didn't we think of this before? Like we're going into tattoo parlors with rock music and craziness going on when you're already nervous and about to get needled, probed.
You're about to get poked and not in a good way.
You know, like
Yeah.
exactly. So having a Zen feel gives you that relaxation that you really need to go into this.
Right?
You know?
Because most people, I mean, most of the tattoos that I have, I had to have at least 5 shots before starting the process. Right? I was like, okay, now I'm good, you know?
You know you're not supposed to drink before you get a tattoo, right?
All right. Thank you, JB, PhD. That explains
a tip from your...
a tip from Jameer Baptiste. Anything you need to know, he will tell you. But that explains why I was bleeding profusely.
Yeah, supposedly it like thins your blood or something. But you need it, you know, like tattoos are no fun picnic. It's like the after effect that you really want to see. You want to see that beautiful creation on your body. But the process, who really wants that except a sadist, masochist person?
And there are people who like that. And I know people that love that. No, I mean, the tattoos.
S&M crew.
The S&M crew, for sure. Because I like tattoos. I've got quite a few of them, but that pain to have them is not anything that I enjoy and want to go through, you know? Right. Now, let's also talk about the fact that this whole place is led by queer women.
Right.
Like, that's so dope. Like you said, most tattoo places are led by men.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And to have queer women actually at the forefront of it is amazing because a lot of times I feel like they don't even get a chance. And then it was, who was it?
Von D,
who kind of broke the mold and really made it popular for women to be out there doing this craft. And now to see that it's progressing to the fact that now there's a whole establishment that is just ran by queer women shows that we have been making moves and that the community is starting to branch out in so many ways that are public, visible, and accepted. You know?
Have you ever been to Savannah?
Yes, I've been to Savannah.
Is it very like southern? Like when I think of Savannah, I think of Paula Dean. You know, I think about her being racist but having really good food. You know what I mean? Like I don't have much else to compare it to.
Well, I think the parlor that they have the tattoo place at is really indicative of the Savannah culture with the pictures and the Victorian kind of feel and all that good stuff. So it really gives that essence that Savannah is, you know? It's not that party, wild, go crazy. It's really that Southern charm that you get from there. So
I love that.
I guess they're mirroring that. In their parlor,
and I think it'll work. I hope it's successful. Like one of my favorite shows is, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's the Black Ink Crew.
Oh, yes, yes.
They have so much
she
drama.
Loves the drama, obviously.
Listen, it is.
Actually, I heard, what's his name? Caesar got fired?
Yeah.
Isn't he the creator?
Which is ridiculous. You can't have Black Ink Crew without Caesar. Like we could do a whole show on that one. But my point of that is like, you know, a reality show would be great for these crew too.
Yes,
I would watch it. Think about it.
Happening now.
I'm just saying, call us. We could do it for you.
Exactly.
Next, Lagos Fashion Week. Yes, you heard me right. Lagos Fashion Week in Nigeria is the biggest fashion event on the continent of Africa. So the country of Nigeria has numerous anti-LGBTQ plus and especially anti-trans laws, making life real difficult for many. Fola Francis, well, she's a trans woman who is famous for her blog and videos about life as a trans woman in Nigeria. She's also a model, she's beautiful, and fashion designer. But due to anti-trans sentiment, she has been blacklisted by the fashion industry. So this year, she made history as she was invited to walk in Lagos Fashion Week with brands Cute Saint and Fouché. What are we all talking about?
Well, how amazing is that? First and foremost, where are all these big time events coming from that no one has any idea about? First, it's the Miami Book Fair. That's the biggest in the whole entire world. And it's like we live right here. And when and how did this happen that no one knows? Or maybe it's just us that don't know because we're too busy in bed all the time.
We're too busy in bed ordering Uber Eats. Maybe that's what happens, you know?
Maybe that's it right there. And I'm sure they have audiobooks and stuff, but where did that come from? And now we're talking about one of the biggest fashion shows
in Lagos.
Is in Lagos. But how cool is it that really, a transgender gets to walk? One of
Yes.
my former fraternity brothers who transitioned has just become a model herself,
Ooh, I love
and to
it.
know that it's expanding everywhere. They're
Yeah.
doing it.
They're doing it. Listen, there's something, you've walked the catwalk plenty of
Yes,
times.
yes.
There is something about walking on that catwalk and feeling the vibe of the people. You know what I mean? They could clap, they don't have to clap, just their energy, you feel it. All right.
Yes.
So to do this in Lagos for their fashion week, where the country's everybody there is usually anti-LGBT, and
Exactly, right?
anti-trans especially, and to be able to walk with your head held high, and strut and work it and be like, yeah, what? I'm being my true authentic self right now.
Right,
And what?
exactly. And let's face it, the model statuesque look is so in line with a transgender that stands tall and,
And beautiful.
really beautiful and loving themselves and true to themselves,
Yeah.
because it's all about uniqueness when it comes
It really
to
is.
fashion models.
And standing out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but what gets me from this story, JB, is that it's Thanksgiving week. This Thursday is Thanksgiving, and it's all about gratitude, right? You're supposed to be really grateful for what you have. I think that we take a lot of our liberties here for granted. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, we've got
You
shit.
can
We
say
got a
that.
shit storm of crap sent our way on a regular. Don't get us wrong. We live in South Florida. We live in Florida where DeSantis is our governor. Look it up if you don't know, okay? But we are very free to be who we are.
Yes, for the most
For
part.
the most part. You know
For
what
the
I mean?
most part, we can't diminish those who do still struggle, but
Yeah.
for the most part, we have some liberties that are just not seen around the world, and
Yeah.
that's true with Lagos. They don't have a LGBTQ plus advocacy.
Yeah.
And the
They
fact
don't have
that
laws that protect them.
exactly, and the fact that a transgender gets to walk in two major fashion shows of a fashion empire that's there is amazing. You can't beat that.
You can't beat that. So
I
make sure
hope
that
she's staying protected, though. I hope
wow.
there's minimal backlash, none
Yeah.
at all. I hope that's the case.
I hope so too. I never even thought about that. She's getting death threats.
Yeah,
There's gotta be
she is.
some. I mean, this is Nigeria, JB.
Mhm.
It's not Texas, even though Texas is not far behind. either.
Right? Plop them there.
Right? It's just, hey, maybe we can send all of Texas to Nigeria. We can just
Right?
put them
And
all
bring Lagos
over
to
here.
Texas.
And then we'll have Fashion Week right here in South Florida.
Exactly.
You see, we've got it all taken care of.
Worked it out.
Yeah. Next, in 1987, a group called ENLANCE became the first activist organization for LGBTQ plus Latinos in Washington, D.C. They fought to connect issues within immigrant communities to issues like language access, LGBTQ plus causes, and HIV/AIDS assistance, and also activism. So Leti Gomez, ENLANCE's former president, knew what the group was doing was important and began to save documents, flyers, and paperwork about their activities. Now, over 500 of the items she saved are being preserved as historical documents by the Rainbow History Project. What are we all talking about? So they were the first. We forget that, in our lifetime, we're not that old, okay? So many firsts.
And it's
have
crazy.
happened.
It's crazy because LGBTQ plus rights and activism is so new.
Yes!
It's only a few decades
It really
old,
is.
1987 they said, right?
Yeah.
And that was the first one, in the existence of Washington DC. It's amazing to think that it's in our lifetime that this occurred. It's not that far away that we were actually fighting for our rights.
No, it really isn't. The other day we were talking on the FayWhat show, we were spotlighting the gentleman who had brought it to the attention of the Board of Education that we should start learning about LGBTQ plus history, right? And that I try to stay on top of stuff. I was like, oh, he's still alive? And the dude is not even old.
Right,
JB. He's
right.
in his 60s and his 50s. He's an old school. He's a school teacher.
Wait, that's gay old. So 50s,
that is gay
60s.
old.
Once you turn 30, they're ready to throw you away. Oh my God, you're so old.
Well, somebody told me that 40 was when you 30. Were they lying to me?
No.
They were lying to me.
No, that's so true. We're aging gracefully nowadays,
I
and
hope
thank
so.
God, speaking of aging gracefully, it's who thought of to preserve these documents,
Right?
Sometimes you're just so quick to throw away papers and be done with it. Clear out the clutter, but to store stuff like this is so important and historical, But it's sometimes, what do I throw away and what do I keep? Do I keep the iPhone box or
I keep it. I have all my stupid boxes things from everything, which is why do we keep that? Why do we become so attached to things?
Right?
You know, we just do.
But in this
it's
case,
important.
it's important.
It worked out to her favor. We all have the junk drawer. It's right next to the bag full of bags, right?
So
We all have that.
Make sure you keep your FayWhat gowns, the bed gowns, because they will be in the rainbow collection.
Right, listen, right? In 10 years, they're all yours. All the dresses that FayWhat wore in bed.
You're right.
Or the ones that don't fit her no more. You can have all of those. But very smart of Letty. I mean, again, borderline hoarder, but who cares? It worked out.
Right.
It worked out. And thank you to that organization for being, the first and having the guts to, being trailblazers. I can't imagine, like, I was born in this country. I can't imagine not knowing the language, right? I learned Spanish as my second language. And I just can't imagine maneuvering somewhere without knowing the language. I went to Italy for a couple of weeks, Jameer, and I was just like, oh my God, how do I say this? And
traumatized. Yeah, but it must be quite daunting to move somewhere and not know the language and be discriminated against at the same time. And
not know your rights and try to find a love. And I mean, on and on. The list goes on and on. So kudos to this organization, and you definitely deserve that mark in history. So I'm glad that she kept all those flyers.
And we can't wait to see all of them.
I want to see them.
Yes.
Yeah. Next, Bhutan is a tiny country in the Himalayan mountains north of India and east of Nepal. The country only has about 750,000 residents and is a remote and peaceful Buddhist nation. This picturesque backdrop is also the setting for a major LGBTQ plus rights movement. Lawmakers repealed a section of the country's penal code back in 2020 that banned sodomy or any other sexual conduct that is against the order of nature. And there has been a steady increase of acceptance since. Residents of Bhutan are learning to accept the spiritual parts of Buddhism and reject the cultural baggage that has come with it as well. What are we all talking about? What do you think?
All I heard was penal.
Can I tell you that at that moment, I also was just like, did I say penis? But I did not,
No, you did it well.
I tried my best. I was totally going to say penis, but I didn't. It was penal,
No, I think that's amazing. That's awesome. And what really stuck out to me other than penal code was that they said the order of nature. And what always resonates with me about that is the order of nature is very diverse and on a spectrum as well,
Yep.
And I always go back to the simple explanation that where they found a group of monkeys that have same sex,
Yep. Yep.
So the order of nature, you actually changed it to the right order of nature, because if you're speaking of the order of nature, we can't stress enough that it's diverse and on a spectrum.
And very fluid. Very fluid. I mean,
that's
I think
the word
about
right there. Very fluid.
I went to for my wedding anniversary was a couple of weeks ago, and I took my wife to a big cat preservation place up in the boonies of White Town, Florida, right?
Because this is what she wanted.
Right? We drove an hour something. She was like, "Are you digging a hole? Like, are you killing me? Just let me know." Anyway, so we saw beautiful panthers and leopards and just incredible big cats that some are, going towards maybe being extinct. So that's why they take care of them there, right? So, Jameer, so many species that were fluid, that it wasn't like two boy cats that were together just because they were friends. No, they were a pair. They did everything together. And I don't remember if it was the leopards or if it was the panthers, but it was a certain one. And it was just very normal, penguins also.
Yeah, exactly.
Penguins also. I mean,
so it's found in nature all throughout the world.
Forever. We didn't just invent it.
Yeah, and we didn't shove them together. It wasn't a drag queen reading a story to them, and next thing you know, they're gay.
Because they were groomed that way.
They were groomed that way. It wasn't the case at all. So it's amazing that now people are realizing, and not only people, but societies are really pushing for that inclusivity and that understanding.
In a place like this, that, India, where you think of, they're not going to be thinking of LGBTQ plus rights. You know what I mean? They have 43.
And they're thinking of it more than we are.
Right? Sometimes it makes us go like, hey, like, how far have we come?
Yeah, wake up.
Wake up, right? Huh,
But
well, kudos to them.
I'm just so happy that the world is becoming more accepting and understanding and
Yeah.
really pushing forward, you know. Like we have to worry about that here with kind of it being backtracked and things of that nature, but to see it throughout the world really transitions and kind of makes you think like, hey, if they could do it, we
We
could do
could
it
do
too.
it, you know, because I mean, this weird thought process that some far right people think that it's like, you know, we're everywhere. We didn't just invent this. We don't choose to be gay. You know, I have said countless times, a blowjob and a sandwich, and boys are happy. All right, I would have been my life would have been a lot easier marrying some rich doctor, living it up, and doing my thing.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
I'm a lesbian.
Exactly. And it happens that way, and it's like you said, we're born this way,
We're
you
born
know.
this way, Gaga.
Shout out to
Shout out,
Gaga.
baby. Finally, this week is Thanksgiving, like we said, and that means that the holiday shopping season is here. Many people have chosen to skip the massive Black Friday sales and instead support small businesses, which I love. One of those businesses that we just found out about is Queeriously Ill Designs. It is owned by queer woman Katie Riley, who is also disabled. When her disability confined her to her bed last year, she decided she would use her design skills to start creating products for the LGBTQ plus community. So if you're ready for a Make the Yuletide Gay table runner or a reindeer bag that says, oh dear, I'm queer, make sure to look up Queeriously Ill Designs on Etsy. What are we all talking about? I love Etsy. You can find the
Oh my
strangest
God.
things on Etsy.
Yeah, I find the strangest things, and I love it. You know, it's
Yeah.
amazing. The COVID, for as much as the pandemic was such an awful thing, it
Yeah.
really brought creativity, design, individuality out in
Yeah.
a lot of people. And they struck chord with who they are and what they represent and what
Yep.
they like to give to the world. And some of that is amazing to
No.
be able to find your true passion and what you can offer and get money for
And get
it.
money for it, you know? I mean, God, I remember during quarantine, Jameer, like just watching the drag queens doing their shows from home.
Right. Oh, right,
And I
right,
was
right.
just like, yes, I'm spending our money. Of course I am. Like, you know, like we had to make a living. We still had to pay our bills. The world
Exactly.
didn't just stop because the world completely stopped, right? We had to figure out other ways to do it. So this incredible woman did just that. She's like, okay, I've got a talent. I'm bedridden, but you know what? I want to spread my gay cheer for the holidays. And most people are doing most of their shopping online. I went to a mall by mistake. Okay, I'm not gonna say that I went by
Was it
mistake.
an Amazon mall?
You folks follow me. You know, I went to go visit my mom a couple of weeks back, and I had to go to Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Mm.
So there was nothing. Okay, so Scranton, Pennsylvania is like the third or fourth most boringest city in the U.S. You can literally look it up. According to FayWhat, it's the #1 most boring place in the whole freaking world. Anyway, so I went to the mall because there was nothing else. There's nothing else to do. That is what white people do. Okay,
Oh,
they
so
go to
you
the
brought
mall.
your teenage friends and you all went
And I
to
was
the
like,
mall.
hey, let's go to the bop. Let's go to the mall and bop. Anyway, but I was looking around and I was just like, damn, these stores, like the stores that were there were lackluster. And it wasn't like I remember a mall being, you know?
Mhm.
I'd much rather buy my things online, and then if they don't fit, send it back.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, malls are becoming obsolete, you know, but to find cool things like Etsy, like we were talking about, just such cool things. And now you could find some queer fun hey dear, I'm queer.
Yeah,
Well, you
I
know,
love
little
it.
catchy phrases and things like that normally that you wouldn't find in a mall. You know, where are you gonna
Yes.
find that?
No, you
Hot
wouldn't.
Topics,
That would be
maybe?
that would be the closest thing. And thank you, Hot Topics, for always having our back and having
Right.
the strangest shit ever. I love it.
Right.
I love it. But no, who else would do that?
Who
You
else?
know?
Right.
And so make sure that you look up Katie Riley and Queeriously Ill Designs on Etsy. You know, I mean, it's one of those things that like you want to, like, at least for me, I like to specialize each gift that I'm gonna give somebody. Like I
Aw.
know that, like, you know, if like, okay, you know, our producer Side Voice, you know, he loves his dogs, right? He's like, so I would get like his dogs something like maybe with their name on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it being queer also, you can't just find that on Amazon. You know what I mean?
Right.
But on Etsy, they'll
You
hook you
can.
up.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
make the Yuletide gay.
Right on.
I love that. So make sure that you check her out, and I love that she did that on
Yes.
her own. So the FayWhat show is part of one of the largest LGBTQ plus media companies in America, and Hotspots magazine has been documenting the LGBTQ plus experience for 37 years. And Happening Out Television Network has been bringing you daily LGBTQ plus news, talk shows, and more for 4 years. In the same model of PBS and NPR, we are a nonprofit 501c3 organization whose mission is to educate and serve the LGBTQ plus community. So, Jameer, what are you going to be doing this week for Thanksgiving? Are you visiting your family? Are you, I know you did your 400 crunches so you can have a piece of turkey, but
No carbs.
no carbs till January. No, seriously. Like, what are you doing?
Actually, I'll be in California.
Nice.
Yes, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, my gay son is turning 30 this
How
year, so
exciting.
I will go up to California where he's at and enjoy the Thanksgiving season with him there.
I love that. Where in California is he?
LA.
Nice.
Yeah.
Weho, Jameer Baptiste is on its way, okay?
Yes,
He's
so-
on his way, so hide your sons, hide your husbands, because he's coming and he's bringing South Florida with him.
Yes, so get ready.
Oh my God, that sounds like so much fun.
It should be, right?
Yeah, and Thanksgiving, it's like in LA right now, in Hollywood, it's such perfect weather. It's like 68 degrees. Your curls are going to be beautiful.
Good, because I need to check the weather. I'm so bad with that.
How do you pack?
I have no idea.
Because he doesn't wear any clothes while he's out.
Exactly, and I packed the whole kitchen sink and everything. That's why traveling with me is like traveling with Mariah Carey or Paris Hilton or something. I'm bringing everything.
Look, so I went, we're so blessed that Hotspots magazine throws this incredible weekend party called the One Magical Weekend in Orlando, right? And so we all got to go this year. And I'm like, Jameer, all this stuff is for your whole crew? No, FayWhat? This is just my bags. Orlando's like 3 hours away. We were only going for 3 days. And on most of the things were pool parties where Jameer was naked. Why he had so many bags, I still don't know.
It's the shoe. The songs might be very easy to pack, but the shoes are quite heavy and cumbersome.
And if you know, he'll wear some. Yeah. Make sure next time you see Jameer out, make sure you stop him and say, "Where are your shoes at?"
Right.
Anyway, I gotta thank Jameer for getting up early for the FayWhat show. I know how hard it is for you in the morning because gay boys sleep late. I love you, Poppy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you for the coffee. It really woke me up.
I know. I see. I don't know. That extra espresso shot really did it for you.
That caffeine.
Will you come back in bed with us in a couple weeks?
Of course, that would be awesome.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Poppy.
Thank you for having me.
So did you know that Happening Out Television Network studios are located at Sunshine Cathedral Square? That also houses Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church located in Fort Lauderdale. We broadcast their Sunday service every week to more than 30,000 at 10:30 a.m. Eastern.
I'm Michael Reardon, the Director of Marketing for Compass Community Center, and Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church.
Finally this week, I want to get our week started by telling you some things that are really important to me. We call it Faye. What's on my mind? You know what's on my mind? Poppers are on my mind. This is not a popper. This is Himalayan pink salt, okay? So don't start sending messages of hate, okay? But poppers are on my mind, and they've become so popular again, all right? Madonna was on Instagram doing one. Lil Nas X was talking about it at all of his concerts. Sam Smith, he admits to using them, and he says he loves them. So I wanted to find out more about it, and in turn, educate you, all right? I do it all for you. So no, but seriously, I don't condone nor endorse you doing poppers. This is purely educational. If you lost someone to the dangers of poppers, my deepest condolences, my bad, okay? But you know, there are ads for brands like Rush and Locker Room on Facebook. I see it always featured on a friend of the show's Fab Scout. You know Fab Scout, the owner, Howard Andrew, right? So they represent the hottest gay porn models around. And at some of my favorite sex shops in the area also has these poppers. So I figured, let's begin and let's, you know, get some education out to you about poppers, right? And you know, as usual, I got to try to put on my smart glasses because this Colombian Puerto Rican ain't that smart. And for whatever reason, these red glasses just give me that intellect that I need to start telling you about poppers, all right? Poppers 101. Let's begin by saying that poppers is a slang, all right? It's actually a chemical class called alkyl nitrates. So that's good to know, right? Because we should always know what we're putting into our bodies, right? So poppers work by relaxing the smooth muscles in your body. This includes the sphincter muscles in your butt, which is why you loosen up right after inhalation. Smooth muscles surround the body's blood vessels, so when they relax, it causes blood vessels to dilate, which results in the increase of heart rate and blood flow throughout your entire body. This is what leads to that feeling of euphoria that everybody loves. You know, so I think you also know this. Poppers became big during the gay disco era of the 70s, all right? In the 70s and 80s, gay men would sniff poppers at gay clubs to enhance the music and get high. In the 90s, poppers were used in the growing gay rave scene, and now poppers have become more popularized than ever, and some straight people are using poppers. Not for sex, you know, like at clubs. Like instead of the girls getting white girl wasted, some of them are actually doing poppers now. I know. You know, okay, but some things to really think about. Like for example, like taking poppers and Viagra is a very dangerous combination. Do not do that. Both Viagra and poppers cause a person's blood pressure to drop. The combination can result in fainting, a stroke, a heart attack, even death. According to my wife, hashtag the Cuban, she says, quote, "Don't do it. It'll kill you. It'll bottom you out," end quote. Okay, we'll believe her. Hashtag nurse practitioner to the gays. Hashtag we have so much school loans. Might as well do something with it, right? Next, don't ingest poppers, all right? I know it sounds obvious, but some people have eaten poppers. Usually by mistake, of course, but it can cause death. So, no te lo metas en la boca. Don't put it in your mouth, all right? And did you know that Canada actually banned poppers back in 2013? Canada cracked down on the distribution of poppers, warning that sales of poppers could lead to a 3-year jail sentence or a $5,000 fine. What the hell does Canada know anyway, right? Did you know that some of the negative side effects? Well, like any drug, there are some negative side effects to poppers. I mean, come on. The main short-term ones are lightheadedness, headaches, and occasional dizziness, or maybe fainting. Long-term side effects include eye damage or loss of eyesight, you know, and extremely high doses can potentially be fatal, where blood is unable to carry oxygen to cells in the body, okay? It's like what happens with carbon monoxide poisoning, okay? So if you're gonna do it, do it. I mean, I know that you're gonna do it anyway, so I'm not gonna sit here and tell you not to do it, but, you know, I've done too much in my time, okay? So please be careful. Don't be a statistic. We need everyone on deck these days. So be careful with the poppers, all right? All right. I know you feel more educated now. I do too. Well, that's the FayWhat show. I hope that you had fun. I am really passionate about trying to connect the L and the G in our LGBTQ plus community. It's often hard for us girls. If we believe we are one strong community, then we must support all the letters of our LGBT and Q plus. We opened the show with a nod to Mary Tyler Moore, and that girl's Marlo Thomas. This show is dedicated to a strong LGBTQ plus community. I just encourage you to be a little bit kinder, a little bit funnier, and embrace our tremendous diversity. It's what makes us so damn strong. Until next Monday, world, have a great Thanksgiving. I will see you all next Monday at 9 a.m. live or anytime on demand. I'm FayWhat, and I am hashtag that girl. I wish you a week full of sunshine and rainbows. Stay gay.
Rainbows, gay boys, hashtag that girl. Sunbeams, drag queens, L-word is that girl, the girl of all our dreams. She's everything that every girl should be. Aqua, South Beach, hashtag that girl. Pride-filled, tea dance, Wilton, is that girl, Latina, but she's you.
So, did you enjoy the show? I know you did. So make sure to click subscribe so you won't miss any of the events, news, or interviews right here on the FayWhat show. Ring the bell at the bottom of the screen, right there, so you'll be alerted every time we're live. You can also click on the Happening Out Television Network logo so you can see all of the shows on the most diverse LGBTQ+ media network. Find out just what we're doing to bring the L and the G together right here on the FayWhat show. Get the week started with me.